He's coming off a great week last weekend. Obviously, my man over here in his red and black as always. You can see his famous Bahama Mama. Was it Bahama Mama or Ramba?
Bahama Rama shirt.
I like to butcher the ugliness of the shirt. But before we get started here, we're going to talk a bunch about the UK UofL game from last weekend and some other top news stories. But we're going to get to LouisvilleBigDeals.com. If you've never heard about it, checked it out. You can go. I mean, it's simple. LouisvilleBigDeals.com. They have everything you need. 50% off around the Louisville area. They got golf. My man JJ here loves golf. I think he got a free pass this weekend to where's that?
Caesars.
You got a free pass Caesars. You can get on there. They have a 35 for 75 Champions Point, a BD's Mongolian Grill, Buffalo Wild Wings. A bunch of coupons. It's pretty sweet. If you're trying to go down to the Chum Bucket and catch a Louisville game here coming up, get on LouisvilleBigDeals.com and order up a limousine. That will take it right up JJ a little bit.
It's the Yum Yum Center.
I'm sorry, I get stunned. I've been watching a lot of Deadliest Catch, so the Chum Bucket gets in my head.
I love it.
But yeah, we're gonna get right into it tonight, since we do have the most obnoxious one in studio for the first time. We're glad to have you here, by the way.
I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad y'all invited me.
Oh yeah, JJ's gonna be joining us a lot more here, as Kelly Patrick has been pretty shady of us lately and hasn't been showing up, along with Hank. We're used to it.
Just giving up. He's quit.
He's got a good reason tonight. His lovely wife's birthday's tonight, so give him a break. He's doing the right thing tonight.
That is true. It is true. Happy birthday to Miss Dugan out there, one unlucky lady.
Happy 21st birthday, honey.
So we'll get right into the UK UofL game. JJ, I'm going to let you just start it out, considering Cards won.
Yes. I'm going to say rushing. UK had 35, UofL 181. And I told you that we would rush all over them.
JJ, we did have a pregame show. If you didn't see it, it was a fun show. JJ predicted, Dexter Heyman to be one of the keys to the game, and Defensive Player of the Week for the Big East. Congrats, JJ.
I know my Louisville football. I know my Cardinals. I know them well.
That's true. You didn't predict the score, but you did predict victory, along with FIU. That you see that didn't happen, but it was a fun game to watch at the end, at least.
Yes, it was. It was. Just when you thought that UK would fold up, they did stand strong, and they never gave up. That's something you can say about UK, is that they never gave up. They played strong, and they scored a couple touchdowns late, and they had me nervous. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, no, I was. JJ was screaming all game. I could hear him from where our RV'd over to where his RV was set up, and my God, you could hear him for 3 quarters. But once that fourth quarter hit, it was like JJ went to sleep. Came down in the fourth quarter, a minute and a half left. Kentucky's on third and like 6. They pass it to DeMarco Robinson, I do believe, or for a first down, but he fumbled, which the ball went back over the line of scrimmage, got to 4th down, and they failed. Game over. Cards won 24-17. JJ's got the stats in front of me. I'll go and start with Louisville here. Will Stein was only in for, I think it was just the first drive, or maybe the second drive. I think they might have punted, and before he got hurt, he had a right wrist or forearm injury.
He only had 38 yards passing, which, like you said, he got hurt early. But I'm proud of the young man, Bridgewater, that came in, because he was shaky his first couple games when he came in, and interceptions, some mishaps on some plays. But when it came down to it, he came in strong, and he absolutely played fabulous for a freshman in such a big game in a hostile environment.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. Will Stein, he went 2 for 4, 38 yards. He did have a touchdown pass, which got the Cards started. That was a good start before he did get injured. But Bridgewater came in and showed why he was such a highly talented recruit coming out of high school down in Miami, why Clint Hurt cheated to get him. Just a bunch of reasons why he's who he is going to be in 2 or 3 seasons. I do believe he will want to be one of the better quarterbacks around, in the Big East of the future, whatever that could hold. But, his stats were 10 for 18, 106 yards, 2 touchdown passes. One of them was on a hell of a 3rd down or 4th down play to, I think it was Devontae Parker.
And that was a teardrop pass. That was a very excellently executed pass. It had to be in the spot, and he threw it directly to the spot he had to have it in order to score.
It was perfect if you didn't see it. I'm sure most of you all did. And the other half of the aspect, the Kentucky quarterback Morgan Newton, he had himself a ball game that was, he did have times where he struggled. A lot of times there was time he could have got the ball out. I do believe he got sacked But the pressure of Louisville, it was in there every time. Strong was not backing down in the defense of Louisville. Dexter Heyman, he got in for how many did you say before?
He had 8 tackles for a loss.
8 tackles for a loss. I mean, that right there shows, Kentucky's offensive line that is supposed to be experienced is kind of struggling. Yeah, they're hurt. Hopefully to get some guys back for Florida this weekend. But, Newton, he had 27 for 41, 255 passing yards, and 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. That's a pretty good game for a junior. He's first time starting, in the full-time role. I think it was a good game.
I think in a couple situations that he could have gotten rid of the ball instead of being sacked, and instead, for the experience that he's got, he had a couple of instances where he could have gotten rid of the ball instead of taking the 8-yard loss. That he could have gotten rid of the ball and at least got you all back to the original line of scrimmage, and that was kind of shocking that he kind of folded up and went down like a lawn chair. But I guess when you're facing Dexter Heyman, there's really not too many choices you can do. You get scared.
It's true. Heyman was a monster all night getting in there. I do agree. There's multiple times I think Newton could have got the ball out. I mean, even just throw it out of bounds. You're not going to get. You're already out of the pocket. I mean, that'll come around hopefully here the rest of the season. It is early. The rush game for Louisville is what very impressed me a lot. They ran a lot of wild card, as they would call it, with your man Anderson.
Yes.
Or is it Brown?
Yeah, Brown ran a lot of it.
He had 14 carries for 91 yards as a wild card.
And I think that was a surprising point because even I predicted that it would be a Victor Anderson breakout day, but little did we know the Cards had a trick up their sleeve, and they went with someone different, and I think it was someone that UOK hadn't prepared for, and that really helped our game a lot was that we went with something different.
Yeah, that's true. Louisville went for 181 rushing yards. It did spread it out. Brown had 91, Wright 51, Vic Anderson only had 41. But I mean, if you look at the aspect of that, 14, 7, 8 carries for a total of 181. That's a team. That's a team. Domination of the ground game. But I was very impressed with Brown in the wild card. He was literally running over Kentucky's DBs and whatever it was. He was getting the first down every time. Except for Trevathan. Trevathan is always, the stud of the Wildcat defense. But other than him, they just couldn't, I just felt like they couldn't stop that run game.
Yeah, and I was actually shocked because I think during the pregame we discussed the penalties issue on, UofL being able to get into the red zone and hold the blocks. And, we didn't really have a lot of holding calls, and the front line really stood their ground and I think played above what people expected the UofL front line to play at with only 4 penalties with UOK's 9. I expected it to probably be flip-flop because, with the inexperience and you all being experienced at the line, I just thought that there would be a little bit more mistakes, and UofL was well prepared.
That's a great point. Louisville's a young team, and the only 4 penalties, that's very impressive. Strong's got his team, mentally strong, as I guess if you want to put it that way for the Cards. And Kentucky, I mean, there was a few penalties on both halves that were, they weren't penalties. There was one at the end of the game. They called a pass interference on Louisville. It was kind of iffy. They did miss a roughing the kicker on Louisville, but then they gave one against them that really wasn't one. Kentucky's kicker faked it. The first half was boring as hell, in my opinion.
Well, we predicted that. We said that they would fill each other out, so that was to be expected.
I mean, Louisville did have 2 touchdown passes in the first half. It's pretty entertaining for you. You were going crazy. If you haven't checked out the website yet, get on there. Go to the Bluegrass Breakdown tab. It's at the top. You'll see it, and then right in there, I do believe our man JJ is just dancing away. Is that right, Matt? That's right. Yeah, he's in there. It's awesome. Is it the post game, JJ? Or
yeah, I called it the Governor Cup Get Down.
Governor Cup Get Down. I thought it was the Matt Jones dance.
Yeah, it was dedicated to Matt Jones.
Okay, I remember JJ calling everybody out. He had a big crowd. There was probably 30 of us there. And it was a hell of a night. You really missed out if you didn't come to the KentuckySports tailgate. There was a lot of people there. It was a fun weekend. If you have any comments about the Kentucky and Louisville game over the weekend, feel free to give us a call. We'd like to hear your opinion. Call-in lines 502-265-5211. We'll take your call live on the air. We want to talk to you. If you're too scared to call in live, it's a big time. And call in the rant line. That's how my man JJ became famous. I mean, do you remember, what were you thinking when you were calling the rant line?
I was thinking I wanted a spot on this show, and the things you all were talking about I really didn't agree with a whole lot, and I think you all needed a different aspect, at this show to, bring diversity to it, because you all were always down in Louisville, and poor Matt was by himself here being drowned, and I was more of his life raft. I came in and saved him, and now we're the Governor Cup owners. So
That'll be for a year, 2 years until Louisville, ends up with the worst conference out of all of them, and Charlie Strong and Rick Pitino leaves.
that's your look at it. I think you're going to look at us like Florida State did. You thought you were going to run over us year in and year out, and now we're carrying goalposts off, and you'll probably avoid us for a few years, which I don't doubt it.
I will trade Louisville a win every 5 years. You can have one every 5.
Well, bring us to the SEC, and
we don't want you scrubs.
We'll do the same thing to every school in that conference.
First off, to come to the SEC, the Chum Bucket would have to renovate everything. I mean, you got 12 bars in there. We're classy in the Southeastern Conference. No drinking.
Well, number one, it's the Yum Center.
I'm sorry.
And number two, if you haven't checked Tom Juritz's stats, he can change anything and make it better than what it was. So if
just
you're
like the upgrade to Louisville's arena that has yet to been packed out.
It will be packed out.
When?
I always see it
against
packed
two.
Out.
Maybe against one of the ACC foes, Syracuse or Pittsburgh.
They're not ACC yet.
They should be. And speaking of that, we'll go and jump into that. We got the Big East, and it's a dire situation. Did they say they were going to stick together?
I think the last I heard, there was going to be some sort of kind of combination, Big 12, Big East. But like Tom Jurin said in his interview, he's leaving his options open. He's going to wait and see who comes gets us. We're a powerhouse. We're a great university. We have awesome facilities. And we're just going to wait and see who comes after us. Pitt and Syracuse, I can see them leaving. We beat them year in and year out, and we're gonna continue to do that. And I'd like to see it as long as we're in a Big East. As long as we're in a BCS conference, I am not scared to go anywhere and play anybody in the nation.
But that's the question: is will Louisville get into a BCS conference? To talk of the Big East possibly sticking together as one, maybe with a merger with some other teams, maybe a Houston. Navy, one of the Army schools, Navy, Army, Air Force. You also got Memphis on there, Temple, Central Florida on the list per ESPN. Just we're not throwing out randoms out there. There's a list of teams that could be joining the Big East, which could make it a mildly competitive league. But the way I see it is, it's going to be tough for Louisville to enter a power conference. The ACC has already accepted Syracuse and Pittsburgh. I do believe they are looking at one more position to fill. The Big 12 is the most legit option, I do believe. SEC, Kentucky's going to use their veto power, and it's just not going to happen. They already turned down West Virginia, so Louisville won't be in the SEC in my mind. The Big 10 will not accept them due to academics. It's already been said. It's just obvious. So it's Big 12 or bust, I think.
Maybe so, but as long as we are BCS bound, we will have a ring in 5 years. With Charlie Strong, he's not going anywhere. Rick Pitino's not going anywhere. So the rumors that are being spread about that, we can close that out now.
Now,
they're not going anywhere.
What if Louisville doesn't make it one of these Power 4 conferences, though? How are you going to hold the top coach out there as a top rising coach out there in Charlie Strong? He's not going to want to stick around at Louisville in a no-name conference.
Well, with like you said, the top coaches out there, in which we have two of the top coaches, I can't see us not being in a BCS conference. We got two top-notch coaches, we got a top program, and I can't see a situation to where the University of Louisville does not have a chance to go to a BCS game.
I totally agree. Actually, it'd be weird not to see Louisville as the tradition they have, the money they bring in due to alcohol sales. They bring in a lot of stuff to the realm of the picture here. They're a great basketball program. They're football program is nothing new. It's been around. They have an Orange Bowl victory recently. Top coach. I think they should enter a power conference, but I just don't know where they're going to get in. It's not. There's been no talk. Yes, I know Tom Jurek did say something on the lines of, don't worry, we'll get there. They're just, they're waiting for the right spot. But the spots are filling up quickly. That's the only thing I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's the discouragement, is these teams are just scattering like roaches when the lights come on in a dirty apartment. I just can't believe the schools are just leaving like that with no consideration to the conference they're in. They're just running around looking for the most money. And UofL, we don't work like that. And Tom Jurich is going to work it out. we're going to be in a BCS conference, and I have all the faith in the world in Tom Zurich. So I'm going to leave it up to him.
You know, I do hope Louisville. In my mind, I know JJ might be a surprise to him. I haven't told him this yet. I might have lied to him earlier, but I would like to see Louisville in the SEC. Why? Because you get to play him, beat him twice a year in basketball. Why not?
There's no way. I would love to see us in the SEC just so that we can prove that when we come to the SEC, we're not going to be a bottom feeder, because every team that you see that the SEC is going after right now is a team that will dominate Kentucky.
In just football.
In every aspect.
Missouri in basketball, come on.
Texas A&M is not bad.
I know they're not bad,
in either
but they're
sport.
not Kentucky. They're great in football. They're a lot better in football.
I still think that if UofL came to the SEC, we would give every team in that conference a run for their money in all sports, all around.
You know, I will agree in 50% there. Just, you know, if Louisville does make the SEC conference, they will hold Charlie Strong around, which is, you know, you couldn't ask for anything better in that point. Ripatino will stick around. He's been to SEC before. You know, it's a big-time conference. Nothing new. It's nothing scary. You can go everywhere in that conference. Yeah, Louisville could be there in, 4 or 5 years if they get into SEC with Charlie Strong. Basketball, it'd be great for both schools. The rivalry would be 2 times a year. That North Carolina-Duke rivalry that everybody thinks is number one. You know, JJ, how long have you lived around the Louisville area? Your whole life?
Yes, my whole life.
Okay, me too. There's no way Duke and North Carolina is bigger than Kentucky-Louisville these days.
No. There's hands down. We are the biggest rival around.
It's Yankees-Red Sox rivalry. It's 2 top programs, 2 top coaches. Yes, I know Duke and North Carolina the same as well, but they just don't have the passion as this whole state does. I know Louisville has a border around, Louisville. They're their own province, but
more so than Michigan, Ohio State, too.
That's a good point. That's a heated rivalry as well. I still say as well. They're state schools. They got 2 different states. We're all in the same state. We deal with each other night in and night out.
All right. I think the other rivalry that we compare to is the Oregon State.
That's a good point.
That is a very good rivalry game, and I look forward to that game every year in football. But we're right up there with that. You're right. I mean, we bring in the numbers, we bring in the money. We always have great games.
We're always number 1 in the NCAA tournament, like during the whole month of March and April. This region is always number 1 in viewing this tournament, viewing every game. It doesn't matter what games. This whole area is watching basketball.
Yes, and I don't know if I had told you guys yet, but according to Vegas, their odds makers have UK number 2 to win the championship and UofL number 5. I think that is fabulous to have awesome. 2 in-state schools in the top 5 in the Vegas, the Vegas lines to win the championship. In basketball,
totally agree.
That is just
great.
There's no other.
North Carolina is number 1.
Yes, North Carolina was number 1. I think Kansas was number 2,
3.
And number 3.
Yeah, 3.
But to have 2 schools in the same state in the top 5 just shows that even though we're fighting over the same recruits, both teams still end up with fabulous teams.
That's a great point. We are on basketball talk. Yes, we're football. We had the first segment, if you missed it, we talked UK UofL game. We will get some UK and Florida game coming up towards the end. Louisville is off this week, right, JJ?
Yes.
Okay, they face Marshall, I believe, at home in 2 weeks. Is that a Saturday game, I think?
Yes, it's a Saturday.
Saturday game, that's good. Crowd should hopefully pack out the Chum. Then...
That's Papa John's, not the Yum Yum.
That's in my head right now. But, yeah, basketball talks is always a good time. And with that, Kentucky just landed a top recruit for the 2012 class, Archie Goodwin. He's a shooting guard out of Arkansas. He chose Kentucky over, his home state of Arkansas, but he also had, every other big-time school looking at him. He's number 12 overall by Rivals. I think he's number 2 or 3 shooting guard in the class. You got Shabazz Muhammad right in front of him, who's also being looked at Kentucky. And it's a huge pickup going, first one for the Cats. They've jumped from not ranked to 22nd in the rankings for recruiting. It's big time, in my eyes.
You guys always come along with the big time recruits, but you have a problem keeping them, and that's part of the downfall. There's no team chemistry. You get 1 year to play together, and then you've got 4 out of your 5 starters leaving, and I think that's what hurts you guys.
Last time I checked, we had Terrence Jones, Dorn Lamb, both stayed. So we have 3 starters already back in the lineup, along with the projected overall #1 pick in Anthony Davis. And then we have Marcus Teague, who would have been starting for Louisville if he committed to Cards, but since he didn't, Louisville fans think Peyton Steve is better.
I'm going to have to agree with that. I'm not
Thank
going
you.
to lie.
Thank
I'm an
you.
honest man.
Thank you. But if you're the first one, I've talked to all my Louisville friends. They're all over. I live in Louisville. And they all say Marcus Teague isn't a top point guard now. It's just ridiculous. Because if he went to Louisville, I would say he was a top point guard. I wanted him to come to Kentucky, obviously.
I wanted him to come to Louisville, so what can you do?
But
You got to beat him.
But I just had to get back to we have Terrence Jones and Lamb back. Those basically 2 starters. You got Darius Miller coming back as a starter, 4-year starter now. The experience / talent is there.
Well, you also had experience on your front line on offense, and it didn't help any Saturday. So
I wouldn't actually. If you think about it, Kentucky's lost 70% of their offense in the last season. Mike Hartline, Randall Cobb, Chris Matthews lost a lot of offensive running back. Totally lost train of thought what his name was. But
the whole front line was supposed to be the experience part of y'all's offense.
What's his? He's big. Big Country's hurt. What's his name, Matt? He has 3 names. I can't think of it.
Again, I'm not even talking. Listen to what you're saying.
God, the producer is worthless.
The producer works in the background the whole time y'all are talking.
He's been eating a double down sandwich, adding to his weight over here. He is not working. I look over and he's just got his face stuffed with grease and everything. Cheese running out. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. JJ, what do you want to talk about now? We've got the Big East. Obviously the conference expansion. We've covered that a little bit. Syracuse and ACC. Them Pittsburgh both bolted the conference.
Well, I'd also like to state that UofL soccer team is 6-1, and that's fabulous considering we were ranked #1. I'm sure that's dropped a little bit with the loss, but our baseball team is 11th in the nation, and all of our sports are rising. I mean, the facilities down there are incredible. Tom Zurich is doing a fabulous job. And we're going to get a BCS conference.
JJ is strict on this BCS conference. I mean, it's a big topic around the media world or everywhere. It's basically what I talk about is conference realignment. And I will just mention while JJ hit on his soccer team, baseball team, Kentucky's rifle team, #1 preseason after coming off a national championship, go Rifle.
There's 3 rifle teams in the nation. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a power conference, so there's at least, 16. Louisville might not be in there. But, you got that. I want to kind of mention what JJ brought up before we went on the show. I didn't hear about this. Kobe Bryant. It's kind of off subject, this Bluegrass Breakdown sports talk, but why not? Kobe Bryant's paid what to play in Italy?
He got offered $850,000 a game to play in Italy with no contract. So that means he gets paid $850,000 a game, and if the NBA comes out of a lock, he gets to come back to the NBA.
All right, that's just ridiculous. Obviously, he might be there for what, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks at most. There's an extra 7-8 wins. Who cares? It's not going to bring in enough revenue to make up that $850,000 a game. It couldn't.
Right. And that's not even the team that his father owns. His father owns an Italy team, and they said it's not the team that his father owns either. So it's not like his father helping him out, but there's a lot of out-of-country teams here that signing big contracts with a lot of people. From what I heard this morning on the radio, there's 3 different Denver Nugget players, and I can't remember their names, that they've signed big-time contracts.
Louisville player Chris Smith's brother? He's just signed a contract. Jeff Smith.
Yes,
he signed
I think
overseas.
that's one of them.
He's one of them.
So the overseas play is growing. If the NBA doesn't do something soon, it could be the NCAA taking over basketball completely.
I totally agree. And once again, if you're listening in live right now, this is Bluegrass Breakdown radio show. You can hop on our website. We are KentuckySports.co. It's pretty sweet site. We got the producer here, Matt. He's great at what he does. It's good setup. It's easy to use. We cover all things Kentucky, all things Louisville. We also get out there Georgetown. The NAIA champions, past basketball. We talk about them. When there's news, you got Pikeville down in the eastern mountains. We did it all. Spalding. Get on there, check it out. You can see JJ dancing again. It's awesome. It's beautiful. Call in to the rant line. Leave your message. We'll play it on the show. You'll become famous. That number is 1-877-452-1231. If you also want to call in and talk to us live, put your input in on anything around the area, call us in. It's 502-265-5211. Man, I think we're going to go ahead and take a quick break here. If you haven't noticed, this is only going to be possibly our only break we have the show. We just got upgraded from YouTube. We're balling out of control. Lots of money coming in here to KentuckySports.co. Now that JJ has joined us.
Yes, of course. After this break, I sure would like to bring up a little bit of high school football. There's a few exciting things going on in high school football. Let the Floyd Central running back ran for, 299 yards in one game.
Ridiculous.
And Trinity is just absolutely
They might be a national champion.
Any team in the nation. I think they're ranked number 4 or number 3 in the nation right now.
They beat 2 of the top teams from Ohio, 2 of the top teams from Tennessee. They're about to run over. I think they just beat Cincinnati St. X, who's always a power.
Yes.
So that was supposed to be a tease for next segment.
Was it? Well, we're going to hear more about it because we got stats, Matt. Don't worry about us.
And we'll be right back.
Yeah.
As I walk through the valley where I harvest my grain, I take a look at my wife and realize she's very perfect for an Amish like me. You know I shun fancy things like electricity. At 4:30 in the morning I'm milking cows. Jebediah feeds the chickens and Jacob plows. Fool, and I've been milking and plowing so long that even Ezekiel thinks that my mind is gone. I'm a man of the land, I'm into discipline. Got a Bible in my hand and a beard on my chin. But if I finish all of my chores and you finish stuff, then tonight we're gonna party like it's 1699. We've been spending most our lives living.
Hey, JJ, go ahead and shoot with it. You got that on your mind to think Trinity, bunch of stuff. Talk about that running back.
Yeah, the running back from Central, 299 yards in one game. Fabulous. I picture him in a Cardinal jersey here soon.
Is he being what's his name? Do you know?
I don't know his name.
Okay, I'll look it up. What's Floyd Central?
Yes.
Is he being recruited by Louisville?
I don't have no idea.
So
he's probably being recruited by everybody.
Basically, if I put a jersey on and ran for 200 yards, you're going to run Louisville to recruit me.
299 yards in one game.
So what? Who'd they play? Did they play DeSales?
Oh. No, I think it was Oldham County.
Hey, they probably did. Honestly, they're terrible. But you look at 299 yards from anybody in high school. That's it's insane.
Yeah, because their games go by fast.
Exactly. And there is a lot of running in high school, but 299 yards. You got to have a big line. You got to have a good line to do that. And I can't find this guy's name. It's impossible for high school websites, but. Do they play Trinity this year? I'd like to see him run up against that team.
Oh, that would be a very good game because Trinity is definitely a national powerhouse in high school. They've proven that this year. I think St. X from Cincinnati has beat them a couple of years, and they've come back and I think they're 3-0 on out-of-state nationally ranked teams this year.
Yeah, they beat up on it was Montgomery Bell, I do believe, down in Tennessee, who's always been a national power. They took them out with ease. It wasn't even close.
Like 47 to something.
Yeah, it was here,
ridiculous.
No score here. Yeah, it was Montgomery Bell. They also beat Brentwood Academy, who's also national power. They beat Elder of Ohio.
I mean, that would be like being high school basketball and beating Oak Hill Academy.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Then they beat Cincinnati St. X. Did give them their first ball game on the 16th, but they came out victorious in the fourth quarter. They pulled away by a few. Their next matchup is going to be where they get tested. I believe Cathedral is always the top teams of Indiana. My roommate Kevin, who's around the football, is just talking about them, saying that could be the team that knocks them off. But if they don't, I don't think anybody on this list is going to beat them.
Yeah, I don't either, and I would like to see them be a nationally, number one team. I'd like to see them play the number one teams, and
they might be the number one teams.
Yeah, they could be.
They're playing St. X at Papa John's Cardinal Stadium on September 30th. If you come out,
I would get out there if you could. It's going to be one of the only fun games in the state of Kentucky that watch, just being the rivalry game. Then they take on Manual. I believe Male is after that. And then they got Moeller, is always a powerhouse of Ohio as well. So, what are you laughing at, Matt?
I would also like to bring up, if you guys did watch the Bluegrass Breakdown, Tyler Bloyd made a bet with me online that
I'll vouch with you on this.
If UK lost, he was supposed to wear the beautiful Bahamarama shirt. And as you can see, he doesn't have it on.
Well, so I know you can't tell from just sitting down, but I'm about 1.5 feet taller than JJ. It just doesn't fit me.
It would fit him. We've already sized him up, and I made sure that my tailor.
It's size medium, and I cannot fit in a medium.
Will you at least drape it across the front of you? Or
all right, I'll drape it across.
I would like to just see if it fits you.
Can I drape it? Will a drape work?
Yes, a draper would work. As long as you put it on, that's fine.
All right. This is for JJ. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I'm only going to drape it. Card strong.
Now, I'll tell you what, Colin Cardinals fan, and please tell him how good he looks in this shirt. Daniel McCarthy, look what we do to Kentucky fans. You're next, my man. December 31st, when we put you guys down, I think I'm going to have a jersey for you, sir. So if you're out there and you're listening, I wish you would call in, because I really would like to have a conversation with you.
Let me reverse the colors. It's thrown off the back screen there. But, Ben Colin, he's been talking about you all night long, actually, how he thinks you are a Cardinal fan down low. We know you're listening out there. You're one of our biggest fans, of course. Give us a call. Call-in lines, 502-265-5211. Talk to JJ, give him the business, call him a Louisville fan. That's what you want to do.
He kind of upset me because I don't think it was it wasn't even 20 minutes after the football game was over, and he was already emailing me talking about basketball. And as a Cardinal fan, I never stop cheering for my football team until the season is over. No matter who they lose against, no matter what the score is, you don't ever hear me say, wait till basketball season. And that's a common denominator with Kentucky fans. As soon as they lose to us in football, it's automatically wait until basketball.
We beat you all the last 4 years.
Yeah, and so you didn't have to mention it.
And we still were looking forward to basketball as soon as we beat you.
Yeah, you all are always looking forward to basketball, and y'all dodge other sports. And
you all should too.
I just think
you're not going anywhere right now in the Big East.
It hurts your football program when them kids see that you want to talk about is basketball, and you all aren't giving them a 12-game support system, and that's what they need is a 12-game support system. You guys can beat Florida if you've got fans behind you and you've got the momentum and that that you've got people supporting you. But it's really hard to come out and give 100% when you don't have the fans that have your back, no matter what's happening on the highs and the lows. And Cardinal fans aren't like that. No matter who. We lost against FIU, and not one Louisville fan stopped cheering for our team. We woke up the next day.
Your stadium wasn't even packed.
No, it wasn't. But
they all left early. They were booing. Louisville started to come back. The stadium was empty.
Well, I didn't say we stuck around. I just said we didn't just look for another sport.
True fans stick around. Last time Louisville lost, I heard someone on one of the fans say, "I can't wait for soccer season."
I didn't see that. You must have wrote that yourself.
No, it was actually my friend.
Although
Although
our soccer team is fabulous.
Speaking of that, Kelly Patrick's been dodging the show for the past 2 weeks. I know I mentioned earlier. I'm going to mention it again. I don't care if it's his wife's birthday or not. He should be here. He's been committed to the program, and he's not here. So we're going to go ahead and cut you and replace you with JJ full time.
You are now on Lexi's naughty list.
That's fine.
She watches the show as well.
That's fine. That's good. She's not watching it now, obviously, because they're out to eat.
And where's Hank at? Mr. Hank, the guy.
He'll walk in about 15 minutes to the show.
Yeah, we still got about 20 minutes of the show, so he should be here. He's about on time.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's going to wear either a black shirt or a red shirt, but yet he's on the fence.
We talked about that. JJ called, who had him on the last show. He called in, and he was, he talked about Hank being on the fence in the gray of UK UofL, and Hank came in late as always, so we asked him about it. And he said it's just more of his color. He doesn't know he's still on the gray, but that's just his color.
That's because he's a Louisville fan at heart.
What if I wore red? What if that was my color? But
I would take a picture and post it.
I wore red. I have a Cincinnati red shirt.
Cincinnati's no good in baseball, so it fits right along with the UK program.
I agree. But I disagree with the second part, but since Cincinnati does blow. We'll get back to a little bit of some game here. UK is playing Florida this Saturday. Matt, do you know what time kickoff is? Is that noon?
It's a 7 o'clock game on ESPN.
12:05 actually.
So neither of us know.
Game? Look it up. It's a 7 o'clock game, ESPN.
Wow, we got Matt saying 7 and JJ saying.
The obnoxious one knows his football.
I hope not.
It's either a 7 or a 7:30 game on ESPN.
I think it's on the U, isn't it?
No, it's an ESPN game.
ESPN picked up a 20-point Gator favored game.
Yes.
Why? That's not a fun game to watch.
They're Florida. They're exciting.
Now, getting to that game, Rick Minner is Charlie Weiss's. I think he got fired by Charlie Weiss when he was at Notre Dame. I don't know if that was a year after he started there or if it was when he hired new staff. But Rick Minner is pissed off. He wants to come out and he wants to show Charlie Strong what's up. He is Florida's offensive coordinator. So, Rick Minner's nuclear defense wants to shut down the Gator offense.
JJ's right, 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Saturday. Good call, JJ.
Thank you.
On ESPN.
On ESPN. JJ is right again. Matt, you're over today. But yeah, it's going to be tough. I don't know exactly how many years it's been. Do you know? Since they beat Florida, either of you?
It's been 24 years.
I thought that was Tennessee.
No, Tennessee's been
like
lot
28.
longer than
Tennessee's
that.
like 27, 28. Okay. But yeah, so they do have a lot of motivation, especially coming off the Louisville loss. I would hope they kept that in their back pocket. Rod King has came out and said they have. They're ready to play. It is at home, which is, it's always positive, but it's never positive when Gators playing the Cats.
I don't know. UK is a good team. They're experienced, and I had mentioned earlier that Florida is just a lot of track stars. If you can clog the middle and keep them from getting past your front line and getting to the linebackers and the DBs, you do have a shot at getting to them. I mean, this is the year to surprise Florida, and I don't like saying it, but I would like to see Kentucky beat Florida to finally go ahead and lay into them and give them a taste of their own.
What's it going to hurt you guys? It's just hey, we beat Kentucky, right?
Right. It would help our ratings.
I know that's what I would say. Kentucky, is reverse, beating the top team. But if this is a year, I think this could be the year to do it. You got first-year coach in Muscamp, who is absolutely insane if you haven't seen him coach on the sideline. He's never not yelling at somebody. Then you got first-year starter, Brantley is their quarterback. He came into Florida behind Tebow, so he got a lot of experience, but he never got to see the field. You had Tim Tebow in front of him, I think this. I'm not saying they're gonna win, but if you're gonna do it now.
Yes, because you're following the Florida game with two great colleges too, with LSU and Mississippi State. So, a Florida game could absolutely change.
I think no.
Kentucky's
I will
whole
stop
season.
South Carolina, not Mississippi State.
Oh, it's South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah, if you guys beat Florida, it could absolutely change the dynamics of the rest of your all season.
I mean,
and
if
that
they
would
beat
be
Florida,
just a
I
big boost.
will say. I mean, that's insane. It's going to be tough to do. Florida is a 20-point favor as of now. It started out at 6, bolted up just like that. Obviously, everybody wanted that, but
Hopefully Florida's one of those teams that's looking past Kentucky.
it could be.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at their schedule. I hope they have somebody garbage that next
If I was
week.
Florida, I'd be looking past Kentucky too.
I don't see why not. I mean,
Louisville was looking past Kentucky.
obviously. God, I can't stand it. The JJ's in studio. Louisville beat Kentucky. Why did this have to happen?
It's going to happen a lot, and you're going to see a lot more of me. I'm not going anywhere. This is my new home.
I gave him a key to the house, so he's got a.
I quit.
exit.
I need a raise or something. But yeah, we got a bunch of recruiting going on in basketball. Louisville has been visiting, look people, and I kind of want to hit that with the Big East talk and the conference realignment. Rick Pitino is strictly, New Jersey, New York. He loves that recruiting base. Now, if you all jump to the Big 12, which could be possibly that, a lot of the Big 12 guys, obviously Westerns, West Coast people, Midwest. I don't know if he'd be able to go up into the New York area and bring these guys to the Big 12. They want to stick around their roots, like Syracuse and everything. I don't know.
It's a pipeline system. It's kind of like you would think, why do the Florida players want to come to Louisville when Charlie Strong came here?
Because you party with Clint Hurt in his mansion.
That is just so wrong and unproven. It's proven that there was certain allegations going around, but of course, when a man is sitting in a federal prison and he feels like that he deserves respect, and one of his allies has gone to another school, he's going to throw him under the bus. So a lot of things that he says, I don't take merit in.
I don't take merit in a lot of things Pitino says as well. I agree with you.
I wasn't speaking of Pitino. It's
know.
getting rough here with Tyler here.
I know. I'm a little bitter still. I won't lie. It hasn't even been a week yet. Kentucky lost. I don't have anybody to help me here. Matt doesn't know anything Kentucky-wise.
So I guess you're not going to have anything to do New Year's Day.
Actually, we're going to have a party, and you are definitely invited, JJ.
I will be
We
there.
had a party last time. It was a great time. We had about 20 UK fans to one card, and he hated life as Jorts dropped 25, new career high.
Well, when we watch games together, Matt, I'm 1-0, so I can't wait to make it 2-0.
Oh,
I'm the deciding factor.
and
I'm 2-0 at Commonwealth. I've been to 2 games of UofL at the Commonwealth Stadium, and I've came away with the Governor's Cup both times.
okay. I just kind of scanning over some news here. Louisville, it looks like they have offered him and Ripatino have offered a 2013 player. His name is Ishmael Wainwright. He's 6'5", 210 pounds. He committed to Missouri back in May, but then he decided to reopen it, which seems to be, happening everywhere these days.
Yeah, the kids are doing that a lot now.
Especially, it seems Rick's always going at those guys, it seems like. I'm not trying to, bash on Rick at all there. It just seems the guys he always go for seem to have mindset changes, like, Telfair.
Right.
Teague, for one, so it's just bad luck on Pitino.
That's the one thing I will say bad about Pitino is that he should have never pursued Telfair the way he did. It was apparent that he danced around going to UofL, committing to anybody, and I knew long before he went to the NBA that he was going to the NBA, and we could have got other quality players, and it cost us a few players by chasing him the way we did because
Rondo.
Yeah, yes, that is
Rondo,
the main person.
I'm pretty
Rondo.
sure Rondo was a Cardinal.
Yeah, he wanted to come to us, and except it came down to the decision, him and Telfair, and Rick made the wrong decision, and I'm sure that he's regretting it now.
That was the year Louisville went to the Final Four, actually. We talked about that before the show. It was JJ thought it was a year or two ago, but his memory is short-lived. It was back 2004. But they had Dante Smith come into him as well with Telfair, who was the junior college national player of the year. He was a beast, small forward. He was from around the area here, and he decided to hit the NBA. It seems to be Rick's karma, just biting him in the ass.
Yes, it really has. I'm not going to deny that. And he needs to change his strategies and stop going after these guys that are in limbo.
I think he just did this past season with Blackshear and Bohannon. These guys he brought in. I think that's what Rick needs. Rick doesn't, he's not going to go out and get the guys that Cal's getting because he doesn't let those guys do what this is Rick's offense.
Right.
It's his team. He's going to want him to coach it. That's why I think who he got is, great for him.
Well, as of right now, I hate to admit it, but Cal has a younger Patino drive right now.
I agree.
And Rick's at the older stage, and as a personal note, I think when the 9/11 issue happened and Rick lost a very close family member, I think that Rick Pitino realized that there was more to life than basketball, and and it's reflecting in his coaching and his recruiting.
Like old red snapper in the back of restaurants.
I don't know about that, but I will say that Cal is out recruiting him right now, and he is a young Rick Pitino. He's aggressive. He's a great coach. He's really great with the media in Kentucky, and he fits in perfect. So
he's doing what kids want to do these days. It's a different ball game, and he's doing
getting
right.
them to the next level, and that's what the kids want when they come to college. They want to go pro, right now he's getting them there.
Exactly, and not that Pitino can't get anybody pro. He's done it multiple. He's done it his whole career. Not that anybody can't get anybody pro, but he's just doing it. 14 5-stars, I think, since 2001 for Kentucky, and I believe 10 or 11 of those are from Cal alone. So he's just getting it done. But yeah, back to this guy, Ishmael Wainwright. He's number 4 prospect by ESPN, Rivals, and Scout in the country for 2013. He's being recruited by a list of people. I just played his video, and he looks like a freak athlete. It's good. If Louisville could pick him up, that could be the start of something for him. I know it is 2013, but you got to get him on now.
Right? Yeah, you got to stay on him. But he sounds like he is just a big monster that could just really change the program, and I hope he does come to Louisville.
I was reading something. I was at work earlier, JJ. I don't know if you caught it, or it might have been yesterday. Did Daryl Griffiths pick up a job? Did you hear anything about this?
No, I didn't hear anything about that.
I was reading, or I got a text that Daryl Griffith is now going to be a head coach. He's going to come back to the basketball world. I'm going to see if I can find that.
He has a lot of talent to share with kids. He was a phenomenal player, so that would be perfect for him.
Yeah, I never got to see him play, or that I remember. JJ, he has to be one of your top players as a Cardinal fan.
Oh yes, he's definitely in the top 2 or 3.
Who is that's a good one. Who is your top 2, 3 Cardinals in your entire life for basketball?
Well, my top player of all time is Jeff Hall.
Jeff Hall?
Yes, my favorite player of all time at University of Louisville is Jeff Hall, hands down.
Okay. Yeah, I'm lost.
Well, he helped me out when I was a little younger.
Okay, that works. Now, I'll stop you there. You told me an awesome, made me tear up story over the weekend. JJ used to be the Cardinal ball boy, and he, who was it? Tell the world how you got that position.
All right. My aunt used to be a cocktail waitress at Freedom Hall, and in 4th grade she would sneak me in the service entrance. I would get in the back seat and lay down, and I wouldn't have a ticket, but I would have free reign of the stadium. And by the end of my 4th grade year, I was sitting next to Jock Sutherland while he did the radio show, and I had everyone thinking that I was Jeff Hall's nephew. My 5th grade year, I was going to the locker room at one time, and the guard had stopped me and told Jeff, because he was apparently behind me and I didn't know it, and he said, "Jeff, your nephew is running around here like he owns the place. Is that okay?" And the thought running through my mind was Leavenworth. I thought I was going to jail. I was in trouble. And Jeff told the guard, he said, "I will take care of it." And he took me into the locker room, gave me an address to write Coach Crum, and said, "Write Coach Crum and you'll be a part of the team." And I was a ball boy every year after that.
Nice. That's a cool story, man.
Yeah.
It really is. He told
Jeff
me that.
Hall's my favorite UofL player of all time.
I had to have you tell me again. I kind of don't remember the full story over the weekend, but that's awesome. It really is.
It really is.
It's a good memory.
He could easily said, "I don't know this kid."
It was a great experience too, because I went to every practice. Kenny Payne taught me how to shoot free throws. I got to go down to the dorms. Them guys treated me like family because I was at every practice, and it was some of the greatest times of my life.
Let's hope you can teach your kids how to shoot free throws. Aren't you now the head coach somewhere?
Yes, I'm the head coach at Lassiter Middle School, 6th grade boys team.
Where is Lassiter?
It's in the South End.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yes.
He just took over that. He was telling about that before the show as well. Our other co-host that shows up once every 6 weeks, Hank Garrett, is actually going to be Oldham County Middle School's 7th grade coach, I believe.
I'd like to have a scrimmage game with him.
I bet they could set it up. KentuckySports could broadcast it for all the millions of viewers that want to watch.
Oh, yeah. That would be awesome.
Heated middle school game.
I can remember as a kid going to Crawford Gym on Friday night on open gym night. And there would be, the older players, Rodney and Scooter. And I think at the time at UofL playing was LeBradford Smith. And one incident that I do remember that was absolutely fabulous was Allen Houston was still in high school. And
he went to Ballard, right?
Yeah, he completely dominated Smith on the court and completely embarrassed him in front of a crowd. I mean, it was kind of like being in New York behind the fence. I mean, it was always crowded. It was hot. And this kid in high school was completely eating Louisville players up. And it's just, I sure wish he would have went to Louisville.
He went down to Tennessee, didn't he?
Yeah, he went with his father. He got the coaching job.
He possibly is the best basketball player to come out of Kentucky in my mind.
Yeah, a lot of people thought at that time that's when Denny Crum should have maybe stepped down and offered Wade the job, as his predecessor, kind of like Joker got the predecessing job at Kentucky. But he chose to stay, and I'm not gonna be mad at that because I love Denny. So, but yeah, those were great times. Great times as a kid going down to the gym and watching them players, play. It was fabulous.
That is always a fun time. I know I've been by some fun, summer scrimmages throughout my basketball career, and, getting dunked on by bigger guys and whatnot. It's always a good time. I think we've got a few minutes left. If you all want to try to chime in your all's input here, 265-5211. Call us in, talk live, or leave us a voicemail on the rant line.
Where's my card fans at now? Let's go.
There's got to be somebody out there. I want to give a shout out to Travis. JJ, do you know Travis' last name?
Travis Kidd.
Travis Kidd. Over the weekend, Travis Kidd was the man. He attempted to take down the Cinnamon Challenge. You can catch that on our last show. Matt lined up the biggest pile of cinnamon on a teaspoon you could get. And he took it like a champ. Granted, everything came out of his nose later, but it was disgusting. He had chunks everywhere.
He took the challenge, and I'm telling you, it was a heck of a challenge. I mean, you could tell by the look on his face that it was trouble once it hit his mouth, and that's the first time I've seen it done in person, and it is a feet.
It seems like it'd be easy. Like you just put a cinnamon in your mouth and you swallow it.
Right, yeah.
But it's just there's so small particles in there that it just puffs up in your
right.
mouth. As soon as you put it in, it curdles up, and it's just disgusting.
Yeah, his lips puckered up.
I just want to go ahead and call out the Cardinal Connect guy real quick. Nothing brutal. He's got a video of a drunk Kentucky fan dancing on here at the tailgate. And he's kind of making fun of Kentucky fans and their dance and everything. I got the best answer ever right here. I think our videos need to go up against each other. This is the famous drunk Kentucky guy that's always at Rupp Arena, Have you ever seen him up in the rafters dancing? Well, this is him, and he's got nothing on my man JJ here.
Nothing.
Here, I'm gonna play JJ's video. Just give me a couple minutes.
Okay, hurry up, Matt. We got 7 minutes here. JJ, during that time, do you have anything you want to cover before we get out of here?
I hope UofL still holds my record up that I predicted at the beginning of the season. Of course, the undefeated season's out, but we still have a great shot. After this UK victory, it's really boosted us. And
you're third in the Big East now.
If we can come into Cincinnati, which will be our first away game, that we can do this. Cincinnati has a very good quarterback. He's a 4-year senior.
Mm-hmm.
He's at the peak of his talent. If we can go inside there and we can play them strong and come out with a victory, I think that is going to put us at the top and give us a chance at the Big East, and that's what we're there for.
Do we got the video going now?
Have a chance.
They're watching them right now.
There's your man JJ. There. Check out the screen, Matt. JJ.
Oh, I'm telling you.
This is after the game. You see Charlie jumping in the background like a lunatic. It's like he won the Super Bowl.
This is my Matt Jones dance.
This is definitely better than the drunk Kentucky dancer. I'm gotta say. Seeing this in person, you would have loved it. I'm glad Matt caught this.
And there was a lot of UK fans cheering me on, too. I was pretty proud of that. I must have been doing pretty good to have UK cheering for me at that point.
Oh, there you go. You got some. We will be having our street interviews on there, here soon. Matt hasn't had time. He's got a lot of busy schedule ahead of him. So those will be on there. Those were the fun interviews where we walk around the Cardinal fans and the RV lot Kentucky fans and just talk to them about the game. We had a guy just talk about his bottle of bourbon the whole time, typical Card fan. It was a fun day.
Well, my favorite one was the kid that said he wanted Kentucky to win by 69 touchdowns.
I do remember
That was my favorite interview. I said, boy, he really doesn't like us.
Yeah. I don't know if I was on camera. I was wearing the Louisville root suit that you could check out, rootsuit.com. They supplied us with that. They're fun. And JJ's still going wild at the camera over there.
I need one. That's when I gave my shout out to Mr. Kelly because he wasn't there. So, I show love to my Louisville fans here at the network.
That guy holds up your arm like you just won a boxing match.
Yeah, well, no, he gave me that bottle of Budweiser and said it was the Governor Cup.
Yeah, look at this. I don't even want to talk anymore. I just want to watch this video of JJ. Look at him.
Little Wayne might call me for his next video.
Give him the car chant. And there really was a crowd out there. 20, 25 people. That's what made this even better.
Yeah, they egged me on.
We did it again. He had the leaf blower out all game, blowing off the Cardinal mat. It was a fun night. I'm glad you all got.
It was probably one of the greatest times I've ever had.
It was
hands down.
Now, JJ did mention that forget. He said he had fun in Lexington.
Yes, I did.
He never thought that would happen.
I didn't. I thought it would be a lot more hostile than what it was.
We were talking to another fan that was in that area, a Louisville fan. He said he's never been to Lexington. He said he hates Lexington. He said he had the best time of his life, better than he did at tailgating at Louisville.
I don't know about that. Tailgating at Louisville is great.
I think it was the fact of, he was there in the environment, the rivalry weekend, the Kentucky-Louisville fans mixed in the RV lot. It was a great atmosphere.
Right, yeah.
It wasn't a biased atmosphere. It was battling. It was fun.
I was nervous when we first pulled up, and I seen your all's RV, and everyone had red on except people with me. Before I entered the tailgate section, I actually got to see the other Louisville fans. So I was nervous, but I'll tell you what, UofL fans have some of the most respectable fans when it comes to a rivalry game around. It's not like the San Francisco Raider games.
Oh, God.
And,
the Dodgers and Giants.
You guys were very classy, and I will give it to Kentucky that you guys are very cordial. Treated me like family, and that was probably one of the greatest times I've had.
Yeah, I will say it was fun hanging out. There's just a select few fans of both fan bases that make it seem so absurd and so insane. But if you get with the right group of people, you're gonna have a fun time during these games.
The trouble was probably around Matt Jones's tent.
Exactly.
I'm sure.
Somebody stole our damn flags too.
I'm really mad about that.
We're putting out a reward for that.
Exactly. We had our beautiful KentuckySports sign stolen. Somebody stole Ryan's childhood memory from him. Stole his heart from him. It had Ripatino's autograph.
That really bothers me. You just don't do that. UofL or UofL, you don't damage other people's property.
I'm sure it was a Cardinal fan.
No, I don't think so.
I'm positive.
I don't think it was.
I think I saw him.
Cardinal fans wouldn't have done that. They probably found it on the ground. They would have mailed it back immediately.
They were obviously fans of our show, though, because they stole our show banner as well.
Exactly.
Definitely.
They got it hanging in their bedroom right now.
I hope I see that picture pop up on Facebook one day because I will go there. It'll be over. Well, go ahead and wrap it up. JJ, we're glad you made it out here. We're going to have you on a lot more.
I appreciate it, and I love it. I can't wait to be a part of this family.
Yep. Matt, thanks for the new setup down here. The new studio upgrade looks great.
Hey, you worked hard.
Thank my wife for letting me do it. Actually, she didn't. I didn't tell her. I just surprised her today.
Yeah, she was kind of complaining when I got over here. But, this is the Bluegrass Breakdown radio show. We'll be back next Thursday at 6:30 or 7 o'clock talking UofL. Hopefully Kentucky can take down Florida next week. You all have a good weekend.
Goodbye.